The state of Himachal Pradesh, located in the foothills of the Himalayas in the north of India, which due to its geography is at great risk from the annual monsoon rains, has suffered one of the worst disasters of this season. Heavy rains that shook the mountainous terrain caused numerous landslides and flash floods, affecting hundreds of villages, increasing casualties, blocking roads, and destroying many homes. Triggered by heavy rains, landslides swallowed houses and buried people under rubble, especially around Mandi and Kulu. Some families were completely wiped out as their homes collapsed, while rescue teams struggled with heavy machinery to reach the missing. 4 of the 7 people buried were from the same family, highlighting the devastation of the disaster. Authorities in the region evacuated surrounding houses, citing the risk of further slides due to the instability of the slopes. Officials directing rescue operations have announced that heavy construction equipment will be used to speed up the process, as well as rock crushers if necessary. One neighboring house partially collapsed, and another was damaged. Local police said loud noises were heard just before the incident occurred, and then a mass of earth broke off the hillside, swallowing the houses and bringing disaster within seconds. The lifeless bodies of 6 people were pulled from the rubble, while teams worked around the clock to find the missing. The impact of the rains was not limited to the Mandi area. Another landslide in Kulu district slid over residential areas, completely collapsing one of the houses. 2 people were believed to have been buried, but one of the residents survived by seconds, jumping out of the window just before the house was buried in mud and rocks. However, the 2 missing people could not be reached, and the area has been cordoned off for safety reasons while the search continues. Authorities have called on residents to evacuate in case of further landslides. Overflowing rivers due to monsoon rains also posed a great danger. In Kulu, a vehicle was stranded in the Manalsu Canal, but rising waters made the operation difficult. Similarly, stones falling on roads in Kinnur district caused serious damage to national highways, affecting dozens of vehicles. Some vital routes on major transportation networks across the country were completely closed, while one-way traffic was imposed on some of the main arteries. The Indian Meteorological Department issued an orange alert for Mandi, Kangra, Sirmaur, and Kinnur, warning that heavy rains would continue. Yellow alert was also declared for Una and Bilaspur districts. While this situation caused great anxiety among the people, the government urged citizens to stay away from especially hilly areas. Education was also suspended. Government and private institutions were closed in many places, including Shimla, Kangra, and Sirmaur. The disaster's toll is getting heavier every day. More than 300 people have died as a result of the rains since late June. Some of these deaths were caused by landslides and floods, others by rain-related accidents and electrocution. Hundreds of people were injured and thousands of families were left homeless. According to official data, more than 1,280 houses have been destroyed, and hundreds of businesses and small factories damaged this season alone. Around 35,000 animals have perished, and the financial losses are reported to be astronomical. The area around Shimla, in particular, has become the epicenter of the disaster in recent days. A slide in Yunga buried all members of a family, along with their houses. In another village, an elderly woman lost her life when her house collapsed. Families were evacuated after 3 houses in the same area were threatened. This picture revealed the vulnerability that people living in the mountainous terrain face every day. Infrastructure systems were also hit hard. Across the state, thousands of electricity transformers and hundreds of water supply facilities failed, leaving residents without power and water for days. This disrupted not only daily life, but also rescue efforts. The combination of blocked roads, disrupted transportation, persistent rain, and power outages made disaster management extremely difficult.
आर्मी रेस्ट हाउस के पास और आप देख सकते हैं अभी ये लैंडस्लाइड हुआ है और पूरा डंगा ऊपर से नीचे गिर चुका है वीडियो को शेयर
Since late June, the amount of rainfall recorded in the region has far exceeded seasonal norms. By August, the average rainfall was over 70%, with some districts recording totals of almost 800 millimeters. Una and Kangra in particular received the heaviest rainfall. This abnormal increase has put the effects of climate change on the Himalayas back on the agenda. In many parts of the state, schools have been closed, roads blocked, houses destroyed, livestock wiped out, and hundreds of families evacuated, plunging the region into a state of emergency. While official agencies are urging people to stay in safe areas only, rescue teams are racing against time to reach the missing, rescue survivors, and prevent further casualties. Forecasts for the future show that the monsoon season will become increasingly heavy and erratic, with rainfall becoming more intense over short periods of time, leading to more frequent flash floods and landslides. This will not only increase the risk of natural disasters, but will also lead to frequent infrastructure collapses, road closures, and the year-on-year difficulty of life in rural areas. The intensification of rainfall during the monsoon also poses a major threat to agricultural activities. Excess water flooding fields will increase crop losses, while landslides will continue to engulf agricultural land, as well as houses and villages. The shrinking livelihoods of the people will make each monsoon season not only a natural phenomenon, but also an economic test. Life in the villages nestled on the steep slopes of the Himalayas is a constant struggle with the elements. Every monsoon season brings landslides, flash floods, and floods, while road collapses, house collapses, and livestock wastage have become a familiar risk for the people of the region. Yet, despite all these dangers, people cannot leave the land because life here is a necessary consequence not only of geography, but also of livelihoods. Agriculture, animal husbandry, and small-scale trade are the only way for families in the region to survive, and these activities cannot be sustained outside the narrow valleys and fertile lands of the Himalayas. Many of those who migrate to urban centers face economic hardship and are forced to return to their villages due to the high cost of living and limited job opportunities. This is one of the main factors explaining why people prefer to stay in the same place despite the devastation of the disasters. As a result, every flood or landslide in Himachal Pradesh is not only a disaster of nature, but also a reflection of people's economic desperation and resilience. Despite the destruction, loss of life, and paralysis of infrastructure, life in these mountain villages is a test that is repeated every year. People are compelled to stay despite the risks and have to rebuild their lives in the face of disaster. We extend our sincere condolences to all those affected by the devastating landslides and flash floods in Himachal Pradesh. We wish patience to the relatives of those who lost their lives, a speedy recovery to the injured, and hope that the missing people will be found safe and sound as soon as possible.
Oh, bhai sahab.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel in order not to miss the latest developments on natural disasters and disaster news from around the world. By subscribing, you can both support us and access accurate and fast information on disasters at all times.